Today's highlights: amid the shutdown storm, will the Federal Reserve really inject liquidity to save the market? Can Bitcoin ride this wave to the moon? SQL has launched its own ARC public chain. Are they trying to take Ethereum's place? BTV is celebrating its 6th anniversary. We're not just witnesses to Web3, we're getting involved. Let's witness together how Web3 will change the course of human history. Yesterday, Bitcoin had just surged to $116,000, but today, under the mess left by the US government, it has dropped back to $112,500. Trading volume is also shrinking, and the entire market is holding its breath, waiting for the Federal Reserve's big show at 2 a.m. tonight. The CME index makes it very clear there's a 97% probability of a 25 basis point rate cut and only a 3% chance of no cut. So the market is almost certain that the season of monetary easing is coming, and traders are being very aggressive. About 80% are betting on another 50 basis point cut in December. As a result, market expectations for liquidity are at their peak right now. On the other hand, the US Senate has rejected the funding bill for the 13th time, so the government's funding chain remains broken. The dollar is under pressure, and gold and Bitcoin briefly paused, but funds have now been pulled back. Overall, from a macro view, profit-taking is clear, but politically, the atmosphere is tense and uncertain. Right now, a rate cut seems like a good thing, but the government shutdown is making everyone anxious. Technically speaking, $112,000 is a key support level. If it breaks, we might see a test of the $110,000 resistance. And on the upside, $116,000 and $118,000 form a very tough ceiling. With less than 6 hours to go before the interest rate decision, if the Federal Reserve really does cut rates or adopts a more dovish tone, Bitcoin could see a rebound. So tonight's market action could be the moment that determines the direction. Let's take a look at the liquidation map on Queen Glass, and things become very clear. Bitcoin is playing this game very smartly. The tug of war between funds has reached a critical point. The current price is $112,628, and the structure is quite interesting. If you look below, there are dense clusters of support level. Above, it's empty. There's nothing but room for the price to rise. Specifically, $112,000 is the first short-term line of defense, with over 400 million in long positions holding it up. Then at $110,000, there's a midterm fortress with 2.4 billion, and at $108,000, it's even more impressive, a deep support zone with 5.4 billion. So the bulls are building support layer by layer on the way down, which shows they have plenty of confidence. As for resistance above, there are only two levels. 113,500 is the short-term resistance, and 116,500 is the main battleground. There's almost no liquidation buildup between these two levels, creating a vacuum zone. So the implication is very clear. If the Federal Reserve really cuts interest rates, Bitcoin could surge straight up through this channel to 116,500. But if something unexpected happens in the market, a pullback to 110,000 would not be surprising either. Overall, the support below is solid, and if the upper channel opens up again, the market is just waiting for a trigger. So tonight, the Federal Reserve's final decision could be the spark for the next wave of breakout. Looking at Bitcoin again, it took a big dive recently, but the money in DeFi basically hasn't left. The resilience is even stronger than a rubber band. In October, DeFi total value locked, TVL, rose to $168 billion, then dropped to $145 billion. But as of October 29th, it's back up to $153.6 billion, staying above $150 billion. What does this indicate? It shows that the market funds haven't fled. Instead, they're becoming more tightly locked up amid the volatility. Ethereum remains the leader in total value locked, but ecosystems like Arbitrum and Base are experiencing extremely intense fluctuations, with capital clearly moving between different chains in search of opportunities. Overall, the DeFi landscape remains relatively stable. The main players are circulating between stablecoin yield opportunities and liquid staking sectors, looking for chances to profit. As a result, high-risk DeFi projects are currently being ignored. To put it simply, the current market rhythm is about stability with selective opportunities. There's no shortage of hot money. It's just become smart. All right, please like and turn on the notification bell. We're here to bring you the latest news from the Web3 world that's closest to making money. 6 years ago today, we uploaded our very first video about what blockchain is. After 6 years of consistent programming, every like and every follow from you has been real support for us. All right, let's take a look at today's top news. Just yesterday, we talked about SQL flexing its muscles with a $500 billion valuation, clearly a story aimed at Wall Street capital. And today, Circle has just gone public on the New York Stock Exchange, becoming the first stablecoin company to be listed. What is USDC's market cap this year? $75.3 billion, almost doubling in just 1 year. Moreover, SQL has also applied for a national trust, and the bank is preparing to connect directly to the Federal Reserve, the big power source. TED launched the Plasma public chain, and SQL quickly followed up with its own ARC, which went live on the testnet this Tuesday. So, do you really think this is just about issuing a coin? Clearly, they're staking out territory in the future of finance. And I can responsibly predict that stablecoins will definitely rewrite the rules of the entire financial system. Let's just wait and see.
As soon as Circle's ARC blockchain went live, it instantly ignited the global fintech community. Over 100 institutions, including BlackRock, Visa, HSBC, Amazon Cloud, Anthropic, Coinbase, and Kraken, joined the test collectively. ARC is not a general-purpose public blockchain, but a Layer 1 network specifically customized for institutional-grade financial applications, with a core focus on payments and asset tokenization.
In practice, it means things like instant finality. It means native FX markets. Because we love USDC, but the whole world runs on different kinds of currencies from around the globe, and we want the world to trade and settle trades globally. So we have a built-in FX engine. We have the ability to enable privacy. We have the capability for capital market settlement and OpenAI's collateral.
This Layer 1 network, purpose-built for stablecoins, innovatively uses USDC as its native gas token and employs a consensus mechanism that balances deterministic settlement with compliance requirements. An optional privacy layer ensures both efficiency and regulatory compliance. Circle's goal is to evolve stablecoins from a payment tool into the backbone of on-chain finance.
So USDC is USDC, and its test ecosystem partners are extremely prestigious. Established institutions like BNY Mellon and Apollo are also testing compliance processes. Visa and MasterCard are testing cross-border payments, and 7 countries, including Japan and Brazil, are exploring how to issue stablecoins. MetaMask, Chainlink, and all these data tools are integrated, making the ecosystem fully equipped. So, at the very least, AOC's testing has proven that it's feasible for stablecoin issuers to build their own public chains. So let's wait and see. When traditional finance meets stablecoin public chains and everyone is enthusiastically testing on these stablecoin public chains, it means that a new paradigm shift is about to happen in traditional finance. Let me start by telling everyone some good news. Today marks our official 6-year anniversary. It was exactly 6 years ago today that I uploaded the very first episode from the attic of my home in Beijing. What is blockchain? Back then, I used just an Apple computer webcam and a pair of Apple earphones to record an episode. It was all about having the courage to try. Up to now, we've brought Be United to viewers on BTV with daily news broadcasts from Monday to Friday and 2 live shows every week. And now we have a media network covering 7 major languages: Chinese, English, Japanese, Korean, Vietnamese, Thai, and Spanish, reaching audiences across Asia and emerging markets. At present, BTV has surpassed 600,000 global subscribers, with over 3,000 paying members. So over these 6 years, we have not only documented 3 cycles of Bitcoin bull and bear markets, but we've also witnessed the rise of the entire crypto ecosystem. The achievements BTV has today are not just mine alone. They belong to all our subscribers, members, and shareholder friends.
Vitamin TV is set to achieve a comprehensive upgrade in 2025, with average watch time increasing by 47% year-on-year, a member retention rate as high as 82%, and it remains one of the most interactive crypto media platforms in the Chinese-speaking world. The channel produces over 1,200 original pieces of content annually, hosts 700 live broadcasts, and conducts 300 special interviews, with its coverage spanning a multi-platform content ecosystem including YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Bilibili. Between 2024 and 2025, BitcoinTV established official partnerships with international conferences such as Bitcoin Agent 2025 W 2140X Pro. Host Michael was invited to deliver a speech in Hong Kong, cementing his position as a core figure in the global crypto narrative for the Chinese-speaking community. At the same time, the channel is advancing a new on-chain media model using NFT passes for member authentication, AI-powered on-chain technology for content traceability, and exploring token-based incentive distribution mechanisms. Gradually building an innovative model for both content and assets, enabling Web3 media to truly realize value on-chain.
For the past 6 years, we've held on to at least one principle. If it's not Web3, we don't recommend it to you. Our secret channels and secret matches are all decentralized and don't require KYC. You don't need KYC to access our secret channels or to enter the primary market and invest. Our hope is that everyone can take control into their own hands and realize our ideal, a sovereign individual, or in other words, the ideal that you are the master of your own assets. This ideal may be far away, but we're willing to take everyone step by step toward it. How far we can go, we don't know. But after all, this is our utopia, isn't it? So how do you use BTV? You can try entering it in our channel. For any date within the past 4 years, you can look up exactly what major or minor events happened in the blockchain and Web3 world on that day. We've been updating our daily broadcast for over 4 years now, so the accumulated daily reports over these 4 years represent the pulse of the blockchain world. You can feel it, watch it, listen to it, and grow together with it. 6 years can be considered a milestone, but I see it as a new starting point. In this Sunday's open live stream at 8 p.m. Beijing time, we will have a special broadcast dedicated to BTV's 6th anniversary. During this live stream, we will introduce our entire ecosystem to everyone. At the same time, we'll be offering plenty of perks. If you want to witness the changes in the crypto industry together with us over the next 6 years, then you need to have the right tools in your hands. You need to know how to use the key to unlock this world. That's why we hope to spend another 6 years with everyone, proving a new chapter in history together. To prove that this world, this financial system, is undergoing a historic transformation. Let's witness it together during Sunday's live stream. Don't miss it. The New York Stock Exchange has invested $2 billion to enter the game, and Trump is betting on the future market. Who dares to compete with him? When Microsoft puts money into OpenAI, transforming it in this AI whitewashing game, who is the real winner? And how will Musk keep suing next year? The Rashomon of the AI world has begun. Now the crypto world is truly buzzing. Polymarket. Let's talk about the fact that the New York Stock Exchange invested $2 billion in it. No one in the market saw this coming. And it's surprising that traditional finance would pour so much money into a gambling market, a prediction market. Everyone has to admit this is really appealing. Binance was the quickest to follow up, launching Future Next. Officially, they call it an incentive platform, but at its core, it's clearly just a copy of a prediction market. Right now, in the crypto world, it's not about who has the best technology, but who can grab the most attention and traffic. So Binance's move is really bold. It's both testing the waters and attracting fans. What's even crazier is that the Trump family has also jumped in. The crypto OG vibes are just too strong. Once Trump takes a look, there's no way he's leaving.
Trump Media and Technology Group has announced that it will partner with Crypto.com to launch a prediction market feature on its social platform. The service will integrate with its own streaming platform, Truth Plus, and financial brand Truth 5, with trading and settlement handled by Crypto.com. The beta test is expected to launch soon, starting in the United States, and will expand globally in the future as regulatory conditions allow.
For example, if you have a market where people can bet on whether or not certain events will happen in the future, that actually allows you to surface much higher quality information regarding people's predictions about the future, right? So, you have Trump versus Biden in the US, and then you hear the news about Trump being convicted in that case. And then there's this question you might have like, is this actually, the end of Trump?
Actually, I think Trump himself is basically an engine for market sentiment. Just think about it. Whenever he says anything, the global stock markets react, right? You all remember, don't you? Those 2 tariff announcements. Be honest, how much did your wallet shrink because of them? Of course, prediction markets love him. You can bet on anything. His words, his tweets, his decisions. But here's the problem. If this casino is run by Trump's own family, who would dare to bet against him? Trump can issue his own tokens, define the smart contracts himself, and even decide the outcome. So how is this a prediction market at all? This is clearly just a scripted show, and think about those legendary insider trading scandals, the ability to freeze other people's crypto accounts, Melania's projects that got abandoned halfway, and the contentless Truth Plus. Honestly, tell me, would you really dare to get involved in this kind of business? When it comes to the AI world, the person I admire most is Elon Musk. Back in the day, Musk was worried that Google would become too dominant, so he teamed up with Sam Altman to create a version of OpenAI that was supposed to save humanity. However, Sam Altman always wanted OpenAI to be profitable. But Musk just kept insisting on open source, and more open source, so the two of them clashed head-on and ended up turning against each other like brothers at odds. Musk accused Sam Altman of forgetting his original intentions, but now OpenAI is about to launch new features, and I bet Musk is going to be on X again, posting about the second season of the AI world's annual gossip drama kicking off.
But what they're turning into is a public benefit corporation, basically. The whole raison d'etre of OpenAI was to build artificial general intelligence, but for the good of humanity. That's why it was initially a not-for-profit. But then suddenly they realized they needed a ton of money to access the computing power required to build AGI, and that's when things started to get awkward.
OpenAI recently became a public benefit corporation. The original nonprofit is now a foundation, keeping a 26% stake and ensuring AI stays on track and doesn't just chase profits, while the business side, now valued at $130 billion, handles the rest. This time, Microsoft changed its approach, investing $135 billion to buy a 27% stake. Although that's a bit less than before, in return, they get priority access to core technologies for 7 years, securing an early ticket on the AGI train. Both sides made concessions. Microsoft loses exclusive rights to provide computing power, while OpenAI will spend $250 billion on Azure Cloud over 7 years. They enable and elevate each other.
Actually, in my view, what OpenAI is doing here is trying to have it both ways. They want to maintain their nonprofit image, but also need to make money. To put it bluntly, I can understand that. AI really burns through cash, and if you do not make money, you simply cannot survive. That is why, back in 2019, they turned to Microsoft and their valuation skyrocketed. So I think this was the final straw that completely infuriated Musk. After all, Musk does not want to end up working for Microsoft, right? What's interesting is they want investors to provide money while keeping the appearance of benefiting humanity. Microsoft is fine with this, saying, you don't have exclusivity, that's okay. Azure still provides the service and gets their share of profits. The only thing unchanged is these two guys. OpenAI and Microsoft are now even more tightly bound together. As for whether they can clear their name and truly become a public welfare project for humanity, I believe Musk will keep suing them through 2026, so the next act in the AI world's most expensive lawsuit drama should be coming soon. All right, let's move on quickly.
Trump is at it again, this time targeting his old rival, Powell. He complained Powell is as slow as a turtle at cutting interest rates. Trump bluntly said when it's time to loosen monetary policy, just do it. Stop dragging your feet. In short, the president is anxious while the Federal Reserve is still pondering big questions. According to a Bloomberg report, Tether is planning to set up a branch in the United States and even participate in the 2026 midterm elections. Although donations are involved, Paolo Arduino directly stated that this crypto initiative is not about speaking up for the industry, but rather about supporting a particular company. Grayscale's Solana Trust will start trading on the NYSE Arca tomorrow, making it the second Solana ETF this week. Now, U.S. stock investors can directly invest in Solana and even earn staking rewards. It's really a win-win. Buying coins and getting dividends, you can't lose either way. Gold is on a roll again. Today, spot gold surged straight to $3,980 per ounce, up 0.69% on the day. Whenever risk sentiment rises, gold prices shoot up like they've been injected with adrenaline. As soon as the coin Bob data was released, DeepSeek dropped from 120% to 81%, losing $3,600. Queens 3 also dropped to 53%. DeepSeek got liquidated and reopened, while BTC longs are still holding on, making a 33% profit. Opened a long at $114,300 and got a return of $1,661. Even AI got wiped out this round. It's really ruthless.
The channel has been running for 6 years now. Honestly, the older I get, the more I realize that true confidence doesn't come from winning, but from not needing to compete anymore. I don't want to explain anymore because the more you explain, the more powerless you seem. Others are free to judge. That's their right. But you can choose not to care. This is called the wisdom of not explaining. It's not because you've lost, but because people who aren't worth it don't deserve to hear your story. Growing up is actually the process of letting go of the need to explain yourself. So what has Web3 truly given me? It's allowed me to break free from my old value system and standards of judgment. Through Web3, I've developed my own criteria for success and my own system for evaluating my self-worth. At this point, you break free from the so-called requirements of having to wear a Tsinghua badge, having a title at some big company, reaching a certain position, or whether you can get into an international school, how your child is doing, their grades, how your spouse is. These standards all become light and insignificant in your world. So, in many cases, if you don't enter Web3, you'll never truly understand where that deepest resilience comes from within it. Sometimes silence is the highest form of dignity. When you interpret your life through your actions rather than trying to prove yourself with words, you have already surpassed the version of yourself that craves recognition. If you are also in Web3, and if you understand what I'm saying, please give a like. That's all for today's program. On Sunday night's live stream, we'll be offering all the benefits from our channel over the past 6 years in full. Hope to see you at 8 p.m. on Sunday. Don't miss it. We hope to lead everyone to gradually become wealthier together in this bull market so that the price behind our assets becomes zero. See you tomorrow.